wa ta'ala between you and him, it sounds more powerful than coming out plainly to say, I fear Almighty Allah. So he says, khawfun min al-jalil. So when you fear Almighty Allah, whatever he tells you to do, you do it. Whatever he tells you not to do, you try as much as possible to abstain yourself from that. And at the time you are conscious of God's presence, then that means you are conscious of the presence of agents of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who watches, who presides over everything at all that you are doing. For instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. Even words that you are going to, verbalize, you should be mindful of the duty of Allah upon you. Words, everything that is to come out of your mouth should be weighed, should be measured. How is it going to impact negatively or positively? So when you are able to assess all those things, then that means you are conscious of the agents of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who are with you. It says, مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. Apart from Almighty Allah, there are other agents who are watchful over everything at all that you are doing. So don't say that because nobody sees me, I can hiddenly do something that can actually translate into a catastrophic situation that is likely to undermine the progress of people, that is likely to implant something dangerous in your community, regardless whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. You, like Imam was telling us in his Khutba, as a Muslim, wherever you find yourself, try to radiate peace, try to promote progress. And this tongue actually can cause a lot of havoc if you are not careful, if you don't control it. So when you are even talking to Almighty Allah, you should have that sense of humility. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Nabi Musa and Harun, go to Fir'aun, he has gone beyond bounds. فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. And then speak to him in a very respectful manner, in a low tone. لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. By that, he may come back to his senses, reconnect to himself, and realize that there is another power, beyond him. أَوْ يَخْشَى. Or he will fear Almighty Allah and return to the right path. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say, if you go rebel against him. So from there, we should be mindful of the lesson there and take it and work with it. But today, that is what we are lacking. But month of Ramadan, fasting has taught you all those things. So if you were the type who didn't have manners, when you are in the midst of people and you're talking to them, you talk to them anyhow. Fasting has coached you. Fasting has trained you. Fasting has actually, trained you to be humble, to be respectful. The one you are undermining, you never know he will be your savior by the grace of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Most of us here are businessmen and women. Most of us here are occupying highest positions in our various jobs. Most of us are rich and some are poor among us. So even if you have housemates, if you have your subordinates, those who work under you, try as much as possible to use the Islamic tenets of how to speak to somebody, dignify him, respect him. The one you are undermining today might be the king of tomorrow. So try to listen to them, even your housemaid. Anytime, try as much as possible to see, what do you think we are lacking in this house? Your subordinate, what do you think we are lacking in this company? How do you think we can do this and that to promote the company? Even your students, what do you think we can do to actually help the community to improve upon their spirituality? Some have it. But if you elevate yourself to a point where no one can connect with you, then that means they are not practicing the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he used to identify himself with even the downtrodden.